Hello, I'm Theresa DeRosa. I'd like to give you a little bit of my background. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, in an Irish-Italian family of 13 children, and I was the middle child. Yes, all from the same parents. Imagine 15 of us in the same household for all the meals. So you know there was always something cooking in that kitchen. I remember our large garden in the yard, and when my mother was looking for me, where did she find me? Under a strawberry patch, or eating tomatoes I was plucking from the vine. They used fresh produce. My grandparents and my parents, my Italian grandmother, Nonna, loved to cook. I have such fond memories of them making either an Italian sauce with meatballs, homemade chicken soup, or fresh lasagna. Then on the holidays, the aroma of the house filled with turkey cooking while you were sleeping has never left my memory. I remember my mother would always ask me, Theresa, would you help cook something? So I truly believe with my mother's great intuition, she knew I would become a chef or work in the food industry one day. She saw my passion for food, and she was right. I studied hotel restaurant management and then moved on to communications media, graduating magna cum laude while interning, and I created a TV show and produced it titled Theresa DeRosa's Chef Secrets. I then worked and filmed with many chefs in their restaurants on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, where they had to reveal their secret recipes. And those chefs were world-renowned. All of these shows can be found on YouTube. I also found that with my passion for healthy foods, I wanted to bring more to the viewers. I chose to study culinary, so I became more aware of the skills, the flavors, and to be more hands-on with the foods. Then, being so fascinated on the history of foods, I started researching the medicinal value of the foods I was using. I found such incredible information on medical sites on how foods can help with diseases, disorders, viruses, and have given a meaningful donation of my research knowledge to the viewers for the past few years. All of this information I produce in videos, Theresa DeRosa's Longevity for Life, and all of these are found on YouTube as well. This is why home cooking with healthy foods is important for your health. You choose the product from your local grocery store or farmer's market. I'll give you guidance, and then you will know exactly what you're putting into your bodies. There's an old saying, you are what you eat. I'm going to bring you a fire hose of information on home cooking and the medicinal value of the items we use with every dish we make on Home Cooks. We all know we eat with our eyes, so you're going to devour these dishes we're going to prepare for you today. And we're starting with a red bell pepper with shallots, sirloin steak, lettuce, bib lettuce wrap. And the shallots, we all know what a shallot is. You want to peel it. And shallots are excellent for you. They're loaded with potassium, magnesium, iron, and they're not overpowering as an onion is. They're lighter on your palate. So you're slicing them. We're going to saute these in oil. Then we'll move on to our pepper. The red bell pepper has 11 times more beta carotene than a green pepper. So once you have this, the pepper emptied, cleaned out the seeds, you want to do long, thin slices. And when you do a bell pepper lettuce wrap, the red bell peppers have a nicer taste than the green. The green are a little more tart and bitter. So we're going to take the shallot and the pepper, and we're going to saute it in some olive oil. We want to add a little olive oil to your saute pan, make sure it's nice and hot. And add your shallots, which are very healthy for you, and your red peppers. And these you want to saute until they're nice and soft. We'll take our beef, and you can pick up a nice piece of sirloin steak. I would slice the beef, the fat off. Because there's a lot of marble in there that's going to give you some juices. Beef is loaded with protein, and we all need protein in our diet. Take as much of the fat off as you can, because you want to make sure whatever you're eating in your wrap is nice and tender. And then we're going to use some mozzarella cheese with this, which is less fattening than all cheeses. However, slicing the beef thin will be easier to eat in the lettuce wrap. Also watch your peppers and onions. So this will saute for about 4 or 5 minutes until it's nice and more tender. And your beef you want in bite-sized pieces. The beef will throw off a lot of juice because of the marble and the beef, so you will not need any type of a sauce inside the lettuce wrap. The aroma of shallots and peppers together is just delicious. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of pepper, ground pepper. And some sea salt. I use Himalayan sea salt. I find it's healthier for you. My secret recipe in this is oregano. You can use fresh oregano, or you can use dried oregano. They actually both taste the same, whether it's dried or fresh, and it has a nice earthy flavor. Okay, you want to lower the heat here and throw in your beef. And because it's sliced so thin, it will cook very quickly. I'm adding it a little more olive oil. You can use a little butter if you like. However, I like to stay with olive oil with this dish. So again, some oregano to give it that earthy flavor, or you can use a branch of fresh oregano. Fresh oregano is delicious. I use it in my homemade Italian sauce. I grow all my herbs at home. So growing herbs, especially in the spring. So fresh oregano is very good for fighting infections. It's an antibacterial property as well. So a lot of these items that we use will help with viruses, colds, flus. So this is your finished product here until we move it over into the bib lettuce wraps, but we add the delicious mozzarella. Now mozzarella is a southern Italian cheese, and it's made from buffalo's milk. So you just want to put on 4 or 5 slices, and then you want to cover it and let that melt really quickly. And this is a very quick dish. You could cook this as an appetizer or an entree. If you cook this as an entree, you could put a side of a jasmine rice. However, this is an appetizer. Bib lettuce. You can get this in the grocery store. A lot of grocery stores don't sell this, so you may have to find a specialty store. Now, when you have a party, this is an incredible dish to make because they're rolled, it's quick, and every time I had a house party with my family, a lot of people, these are great just to grab as an appetizer. So they're nice and cheesy with the beef, and you want to wrap it with a toothpick. What inspired me to do this dish was quick and it's healthy. It's very healthy for you. And there you go. Bib lettuce, red pepper, sirloin steak, mozzarella cheese wraps. Amazing, and the steak is very tender. That's what's good about putting it in a wrap. Coming up next is my sauteed chicken masala with shiitake mushrooms, and the sauce is delectable. Don't go away. So this particular dish is a crispy chicken masala sauteed. However, I've already started filleting and I pounded these particular pieces. We're going to fillet the chicken and I will show you. You can get 3 pieces from this. So you want to fillet, hold your hand, and then fillet again. And you get 3 lovely pieces. Once you have them filleted, you want to cover it and pound them. Pounding them not only makes them larger, it tenderizes the chicken. So you're going to have delicious tenderized chicken masala. Then you want to dredge it in flour. And we all know once you hit 40-something, you start to lose muscle mass. So people, instead of running to the gym constantly, you need to put protein into your body. This will be moved over to the burner and we're going to saute this in butter. So mushrooms are a turbo booster for your immune system. I like to use shiitake mushrooms in this particular dish, but you can also use a button mushroom. And you basically would slice the mushroom very thin. And these are also healthy for you. But again, I'm only using the shiitake mushrooms because they act like a piece of bread and they soak up the sauce. And the sauce in chicken masala is delectable. The garlic is for the spinach. We're sauteing spinach on the side. And we know garlic is excellent for you. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, used garlic as a prescription for any and all disorders and diseases. I crush the garlic first just to flatten it out. It's easier instead of trying to chop up the whole piece of garlic itself. So you have fresh garlic, and if you don't have time to go out and buy fresh garlic, you can buy a jar garlic. And it's very similar. Tastes the same, but fresh is better. Okay, so we're going over to the stove and we're going to saute the garlic in some olive oil and flash that spinach. And we're going to saute the mushrooms in a great sauce with some butter. And then we're going to add the chicken till it's nice and crispy. Remove the chicken, add the mushrooms, and then we'll saute it all up. It'll be delicious. Put in probably a half a cup of butter. And real butter offers A, D, E, B12. It's very good for you, and K2 as well. This butter protects against heart disease, believe it or not. This is one of your good fats. I'm gonna add in a little more because we have quite a bit of chicken to saute here. And this is one of my signature dishes, chicken masala. I'll make this and we can have a side of a pasta with a nice red marinara sauce, or you can have a side of garlic sauteed spinach or broccoli. You can have any side at all with chicken masala. It has a lovely sauce. We're going to start with the mushrooms. I'm going to saute the mushrooms in here first. Again, shiitake mushrooms are a turbo booster for your immune system. Any type of a mushroom. And I have both in here, which are great. Once these are sauteed, you add a little bit of salt and pepper. And this is really some home-style cooking. And it's quite simple. These are all nice and sauteed. You want to put them off to the side because you want to add them after you have the chicken all filleted. So they're soft enough to take out of the pan. Some people saute the chicken and then throw the mushrooms in. However, I like to do it this way so the mushrooms don't get too brown. Now you want to throw in your chicken. And this will cook very quickly because it's thin, it's filleted. And you're going to have a beautiful, delectable sauce. So this will brown and saute up. And while that's cooking, very quickly, some olive oil, garlic, and this is going to be for your spinach, your side, for the chicken masala. And we'll get this going here. And we'll add a little bit of sea salt and a little more olive oil. Once the garlic is a little sauteed, we'll throw in the spinach and add the other items to it. I added in a little more butter just to keep it from not getting dry. And it's sauteing lovely. And your garlic here is just getting lightly browned. So you want to shut the stove off here because once you put the spinach in, this will flash and cooks very quickly. It wilts very quickly. This is sauteing beautifully. And it's very quick. It's all very quick dish. It looks like it may take a long time, but once you've done it once, it's very, very quick to prepare. I've been cooking chicken masala for maybe 15 or 20 years. I came from a very large family, so whenever I have guests, they're always asking for my chicken masala or my homemade marinara sauce and meatballs. And everyone always congregates to my house for the holidays. Browning nicely. Okay, your garlic is browned. You want to throw the whole bag of spinach in, and you'll be amazed how quickly this wilts down. You can use baby spinach, you can use whole spinach, but this wilts down to maybe a serving for 2 or 3. Add a little bit of olive oil, some sea salt, and we'll watch that wilt. Back to the chicken. So this cooks for about 3 or 4 minutes. Once it's nice and browned, you want to get a masala cooking wine. Whether it's from the liquor store, it's a light masala cooking wine, or you can get this particular brand. And it's about 2/3 of a cup. And the flour that you dredged the chicken in is going to create this beautiful sauce. Throw your mushrooms back in. And you have this amazing sauce for your chicken. And if you find that it might be too thick from the flour, a little bit of chicken broth. Spinach is loaded with antioxidants, and it's great for your health, very healthy for your immune system as well. So if you can use spinach 3 or 4 times a week, even if it's in a smoothie, spinach is very good for you. Remember, Popeye used to build muscles with spinach. We have our chicken masala with shiitake mushrooms finished. It's in a delectable sauce. You'll love it. And this sauteed spinach with garlic and olive oil as a side. We're taking it over to plate it. Don't go away. So we have this amazing chicken masala with the shiitake mushrooms and this wonderful sauce. And then the side is a scrumptious spinach. You can say scrumptious spinach to children and they'll look at you and say, spinach, scrumptious. But we as adults know that it's scrumptious and it's healthy for us. So this is the scrumptious sauteed chicken masala with shiitake mushrooms and the sauteed spinach with some garlic. And we're going to have a taste of this. The proof is in the pudding, of course, with the mushroom. Perfecto. Delicious. Coming up next is my berry compote with a raspberry preserve, the juice from a lemon, chambord, which is a raspberry liqueur, a dollop of frozen vanilla bean ice cream, and a dark chocolate wafer finger, topped with fresh mint. Delicious. Don't go away. So this particular dessert, this berry compote, is great for the spring or summer, and it's very, very healthy for you. So we're going to use many types of berries. Raspberries, blackberries, add some blueberries, and strawberries. And I've already sliced a bunch up. And it's so simple and delicious. It may sound and look fattening, however, it's all very healthy ingredients. This is a strawberry preserve, or you could use a raspberry preserve. And you want to put in maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. You don't want it too sweet. Then you want the juice of a half of a lemon. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, the juice from a lemon. They're loaded with antioxidants like anthocyanins, which may protect your cells from free radicals. And they're foods of the earth. They are just the healthiest foods on the earth that you can eat. So you want to mix all of this up. The best part is the chambord. So you want to put in not too much. You want to try it, mix it in, and taste it. And if you think you'll need a little bit more, then you add in a little bit more. So the lemon will make it a little tangy. The chambord is going to add a little sweetness. And you taste the sauce. A little more lemon. And I'm going to throw in just a little more chambord. So once this dessert is done, we're going to plate it. This is perfect. And see how simple that was? We're going to plate it up and add all the other toppings. You can use martini glasses, your favorite dessert glasses, or just a bowl. And when you plate it up, not too much, because berries can be filling. However, you want to get some of that sauce in there. Now you can use frozen vanilla yogurt or frozen vanilla bean ice cream. Either one is excellent for you. However, the frozen yogurt is a probiotic. And you just put a dollop on the top. And having it a little soft is great, because then it's going to melt a little bit down into the bottom of the berry. Then my favorite thing to do is adding a topping. Now this particular wafer is a dark chocolate wafer, or you could use a raspberry wafer and just add in a few on the top. These are so impressive to make in the summertime. Then you have a sprig of mint, fresh mint. They're so impressive to make in the summertime, people think that a gourmet cook made these. It tastes delicious, it's healthy, it's refreshing. And if you like, a little tiny bit of chambord or a little more of the juice on the top. Either way, it looks delicious It's healthy. Another strawberry, maybe. So the dark chocolate improves your blood flow, lowers your blood pressure, and it's great for your sex drive. So the mint is great for your breath and digestion. And it's a lovely dessert, especially for the summer, and it's not too heavy with all these healthy ingredients. We're going to try these desserts. However, what better way to end a beautiful meal with a dessert than with a great glass of red wine? I'll always be self-consistent and detailed with my directions on dishes I prepare for all of you each week. So remember what the father of medicine once said, Mr. Hippocrates, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Enjoy. Salute. That's the best tasting dessert I ever had. Thank you for watching Home Cooks. I'm Theresa DeRosa, where I bring you the researched information on the medicinal value of foods with all the dishes we make. Very healthy lifestyle cooking. And remember, the father of medicine once said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. See you next time.